Hey, Rogue, it's time for your book club. Kitty Kitty, are you going to join us? I guess not. Silly Rogue, he is actually using the strap of a Salem Public Library outreach bag to rest his chin on and hold his head up while he's napping. Crazy cat. All right, well, I'm awake, so I can do book club. I don't know about Rogue. He is a very silly cat. He's actually been snuggled up with that book bag most of the morning, while I was doing other things, getting ready to do book club here. Since we're apparently having a very lazy day at my house. Daisy Ray is up here. She is awake, but she's pretty sleepy. Griffin's actually over by Rogue. I'm Renee. Good morning. I'm the children's librarian at Salem Public Library in Salem, Ohio. And this is Rogue's Reads, our virtual book club for kids in 4th to 8th grade. We are currently reading The Genius Files, Never Say Genius by Dan Gutman. So big thanks to Dan Gutman and HarperCollins Publishing for allowing us to share this book this way. This book's a lot of fun and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying listening to them as much as I'm enjoying sharing these books. So, got a lot of exciting stuff to cover today. If you remember from yesterday, they were almost, well, they escaped the boiling oil. And I got a message that said, Happy Death Day. That just seems cruel and mean. I don't know. This Archie clone guy, not a nice guy. I do still wish he had a real name, though. So they were in Wisconsin, and then they headed to a hotel just outside of Chicago. So today we have finally made it to Chicago, one of my favorite towns. Hopefully I never get into quite as much trouble as Pep and Coke do there. So let's get started. To chapter 5, Unexpected Guests. It wasn't until the next morning when the twins woke up in their motel room that they were able to fully comprehend the seriousness of their situation. Getting rid of Dr. Warsaw at the house on the rock had not solved their problem as they had thought. No, their problem had just begun. People were still after them. Coke and Pep would have to live with that fact, maybe until they themselves were dead or the people who were trying to kill them were dead. Maybe it was just Archie Clone who was after them now. Or maybe Mrs. Higgins and the Bowler dudes were still out there somewhere too. Maybe there were others as well. It makes it kind of hard to get through your everyday life knowing that at any moment somebody might try to throw you off a cliff, dip you into boiling oil, drown you in a vat of Spam, or bury you alive in a sand dune. That's no way to live. We gotta tell Mom and Dad, Coke said to his sister as they brushed their teeth that morning. This isn't some game. The game is over. Mom and Dad will know what to do. Agreed. After showering and getting dressed, Coke and Pep knocked on the door of their parents' room. Dr. and Mrs. McDonald were already dressed and ready to go downstairs to the little breakfast room next to the motel lobby. They were in the middle of a discussion about Dr. McDonald's next book. His last one, The Impact of Coal on the Industrial Revolution, had not sold very well. Honey, maybe you should write about something a little more commercial next time, Mrs. McDonald suggested delicately. What, like Britney Spears? Dr. McDonald replied with sarcasm in his voice. Maybe I should write about a book about Lindsay Lohan's love life. Lots of people would buy that. No, Ben, I mean, we need to talk to you about something, Coke told his parents. What is it, sweetie? Mrs. McDonald said with concern as they made their way to the breakfast room. Coke took a deep breath. You may find this a little hard to believe, he began, but Pep and I are part of a secret government program, and it's called The Genius Files. Silence. They continued up the buffet line to get their food. Go on, urged Dr. McDonald. Ever since we left California, Pep told them, there have been these crazy people who have been trying to kill us. They forced us to jump off a cliff back home, and they blew up a building where we were in right next to our favorite Chinese restaurant, Coke said. And they left us to die at the Singing Sand Dune, Pep added. And they tried to drown us at the Spam Museum. And they tried to boil us in oil yesterday. Dr. McDonald held up his hand to stop them. So you're telling us that these people are still out there, he said, that your lives are in danger. Right, Pep said. We would have told you about this earlier, but we've been sworn to secrecy. They sat down at a table. We have GPS devices implanted in our heads, Coke added, so the bad guys who are trying to kill us know where we are at all times. Dr. and Mrs. McDonald stared at the twins for a long time, and then they burst out in hysterical laughter. Dr. McDonald said through the tears that were streaming down his face. That's a good one. GPS devices in your head? It's not even April Fool's Day, said Mrs. McDonald as she wiped her face with a napkin. How do you kids come up with this stuff? You two are so imaginative. No, we mean it, Coke protested. We're totally serious. You guys crack me up, Dr. McDonald said, unable to stop laughing. Pritch, I'm so glad we changed our minds and decided to have children after all. Our kids never cease to amaze me. They do say the darndest things, said Mrs. McDonald. Well, so much for that idea. It didn't look like their parents were going to be any help at all. Coke and Pep would have to live, or die, on their own. As their parents chuckled and lingered over their coffee, the twins went outside to talk things over privately. What are we going to do now? Pep asked. How should I know? Maybe we should call the police. Are you out of your mind? They'll never believe us, Coke told her. Mom and Dad didn't even believe us. You think the cops will? And ever since they were little, Coke had been the big brother, even though he was only a few minutes older. Pep had come to rely on him to get them out of jams using his mouth, his fists, a deck of cards, a cheese head, or whatever happened to be lying around. Now, though, Coke worried about what was going to happen next. That Archie clone who'd tried to French fry them could be anywhere. He could be watching them right now or listening in on their conversations. They would have to track him down. They might have to kill him before he killed them. And what about Mrs. Higgins? What about those crazy bowler dudes? What about the other Genius File kids who might be gunning for them so they could claim the $1 million? And what about Dr. Warsaw? Maybe he had survived the fall and was out there somewhere, concocting more intricate secret messages and plans to kill them. As the twins walked back to their room to pack up their stuff and check out of the motel, two maids were blocking the hallway with big carts loaded up with towels, cleaning supplies, and those little plastic shampoo bottles they leave in the rooms. Excuse me, Pep said politely, assuming that would be enough to send the message that they needed to get past. The maids didn't turn around. One was holding a broom, and the other was fiddling with a vacuum cleaner. Pardon me, Coke said a little more forcefully. We need to get to our room. No speaky English, said one of the maids in a vague accent. Coke rolled his eyes and pushed his way past the two carts and gestured for Pep to follow him. That's when both maids clapped their hands over the twins' mouths and grabbed them forcefully from behind. What the? Keep your mouth shut and you won't get hurt, one of the maids grunted in a male voice as Pep tried to bite the hand over her mouth. Let us go, Pep tried to holler. The maids dragged Coke and Pep roughly down the hall and used a key to open a door with no room number on it. Then they shoved the twins into the room, followed them inside, and slammed the door behind them. It was a storage room with racks filled with towels on the walls. Who are you? Pep demanded. What do you want from us? The maids ripped wigs off their heads and smiled broadly. Maya! Yelled Pep. Bones! Yelled Coke. Now, if you had read the Genius Files Mission Unstoppable, you would know who Bones and Maya are. If you didn't read that book, well, maybe next time you'll listen when I tell you to do something. Bones was the custodian at the twins' school who had watched over them and initiated them into the Genius Files program. Maya was also on the Genius Files team. It was Maya who had given them the wingsuits so they would survive their plunge over the cliff back home in California. There were hugs all around. The twins were grateful to see them, even if Bones did look a little strange wearing a maid's uniform. Do you work here at the motel? Pep asked. Of course I don't work here, you dope, Coke said. They're disguised as maids so people won't know who they really are. We're undercover, Bones said. I'm glad to see you two are alive and well. Barely, Pep said. Yesterday, this crazy teenager trapped us in a giant French fry cage and tried to drop us into boiling oil. What a way to celebrate our birthday. Happy birthday, Maya said cheerfully. We wanted to get you presents, but we didn't have time. Saving our lives would have been a nice present, Coke said as he pulled the ticket to the French fry simulator out of his pocket and showed it to Bones and Maya. Hated, day, happy, Bones read off the ticket. What do you think that means? I figured it out, Pep said. It means Happy Death Day. This teenager who tried to kill you, Maya said. What did he look like? He was kind of nerdy looking, chubby, and he had bright red hair, Pep told them, like Archie from the comics. Bones and Maya looked at each other. Archie clone, they said together. You know that kid? Coke said. Oh yeah, Bones said. We know him. The Genius Files kid, the renegade. This is precisely the reason why Dr. Warsaw had to end the Genius Files program, Maya told them. He thought he would simply recruit genius kids from all over the country to solve America's problems, and they would do whatever he told them. But kids don't always do what we grown-ups tell them to do. And geniuses like Archie Clone, well, you never know what crazy thing they might do. We suspect that he might be criminally insane, Bones added. Kids made fun of him at school, Coke said. Maybe that's what messed him up. So we shouldn't make fun of people. How did Archie Clone get that big truck, Pep asked, and all that French fry apparatus? It must have cost somebody a fortune. He figured out a way, Bones said. He's a very bright and resourceful young man. Some say he's trying to follow in Dr. Warsaw's footsteps. He may be trying to take over the Genius Files program now that Dr. Warsaw is gone. He told us he was going to kill off all the Genius Files kids, Pep said, so that when he turns 21, he'll be the only one left and he'll get to keep the $1 million. Bones whistled. Did he say anything else? Cook and Pep thought back, trying to remember anything Archie Clone had said that might be important. Pep couldn't think of anything, but suddenly Coke snapped his fingers. He did say 2 things. What? 1, he collects hats, Coke said. And 2, he said he had to give us the tour right away because he was on his way to Washington. Washington, D.C. or Washington State, Maya asked. He didn't say, Coke replied. Probably D.C., Bones said. That's where we're heading, Pep said. And so are we, said Maya. We've got to stop him before he hurts anybody. How are we going to do that? Asked Coke. We don't know, Bones replied. How are we going to find him? Asked Pep. We don't know that either, replied Maya. You don't know a whole lot, do you? Said Coke. We'll be in touch, Bones said. You kids can relax now. Try to enjoy your vacation. Have fun with your parents. Maya and I will head for Washington. Hopefully, this whole thing will be over before you get there. Can you give us a cell phone number or some way to reach you? Asked Pep. Too dangerous, Maya replied. We are constantly being monitored. Here, Bones said as he reached into the maid's cart and handed the twins a plastic bag. Take some of these. You're giving us little bars of soap? Pep asked as she looked into the bag. It's not plain old soap, you dope, Coke told her. It's exploding soap, right? You throw it at somebody and it can take their head off like a hand grenade. That stuff is cool. It's not exploding soap, Bones told him. I know, Coke said. It's special GPS soap. You can plant it on somebody and then you can track them, even when they're in the shower. And then it melts away without leaving a trace. How do you people come up with this stuff? It's brilliant. No, said Maya. There's no such thing as GPS soap. I know, Coke said excitedly. You put 2 of them over your eyes and they function as night vision goggles, right? It's just soap, Bones said wearily. What are we supposed to do with plain old soap? Coke demanded. You wash yourselves with it, Bones said. Figured it might come in handy in your RV. How do you expect us to save the world with little bars of soap? Coke asked. We need some weapons, and preferably cool weapons, like the kind they have in action movies. We don't have any cool weapons, Maya said. This is strictly a low-budget operation. Hey, you're the ones who are geniuses, Bones told them. You figure it out. We need to go now. Before we leave, I need to ask you something, Maya said. Did you tell your parents anything about the Genius Files? Well, we tried to, but they didn't believe us, Pep replied. Good, said Maya. They must not know, ever. If they find out, their lives will be in danger too. Hey, one last thing we need to know before you go, Coke said. Is Dr. Warsaw dead or alive? We think he's dead, but we're not sure, Bones said. We searched for his body in the woods around the house on the rock, but by the time we got there, it was gone. Good luck, Maya said, hugging each of the twins. Be careful. We are always with you. If you're with us, Coke said, you would have given us some of those Frisbee grenades you have, or flamethrower, or something that we could actually use to defend ourselves. Goodness no, said Maya. That would be dangerous. Then at least clean our room, Pep said. It's a mess. All right. I'm actually going to stop there for today because this is Friday's recording, so keep it short and light to head into the weekend with. And the next chapter is actually really long, so I'm afraid that if I start it now, we're going to run really, really long today, and I don't want to do that. So we will pick that one up on Monday. Just, something to think on. If you were in a situation like Coke and Pep, where you've got all these strangers that are after you, Coke keeps asking, he keeps coming up with these incredible ideas. GPS soap that melts away. I actually think that's a brilliant spy tool. What kind of spy tools would you want? I mean, if you were in Coke and Pep's position and you could say to Bones and Maya, hey, give me the Frisbee grenade or whatever, what would you want? It doesn't have to be something that Coke has mentioned. Anything you think might be useful to you. Because I actually think Coke's got some pretty cool ideas for spy equipment. So if you got any ideas, throw them out there in the comments because that's really fun. My other thing, this is just as I'm reading this book and I'm thinking, oh, don't do that. The maids were blocking their way. They know there's bad guys after them and they've been caught multiple times already. Maybe it was not in their best interest to squeeze past the maids and get that close to them. Now, it was okay because it turned out to be Bones and Maya, who are their friends, we think. But they got close enough that these people could grab them and drag them away, and yikes. So even before I even got to that part where they got grabbed, I was thinking, oh, don't get that close to those maids. So that's just like a general safety thing. If you don't know somebody, don't get close enough to them that they can grab you. That's just me being, like a little paranoid and wanting everybody to stay safe. So that's it for the weekend. The weather is supposed to be beautiful this weekend. I'm recording this on Thursday. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow when you'll see this, but then it's supposed to be pretty during the weekend. If you guys are following any of the teddy bear hunt, the Easter egg hunt and all that stuff, the new one that I'm seeing promoted is rainbows, because rainbows are a sign of hope. So get out there and draw a rainbow with chalk on your sidewalk, make a rainbow painting for your window, put up a rainbow somewhere to give hope to everybody. If you are in Salem and you are out running errands, I know we're not supposed to be going too many places, but if you are out, make sure that you tell your grown-ups to drive you past the library. Take a look in the children's department windows. We've got lots of cool stuff. Miss Sarah just changed the display. It looks fantastic, so thank you to Miss Sarah for doing that. And one I saw yesterday was driving down State Street past the hospital. When you go under the bridge, the hospital bridge, just take a look at what they've done with that. It looks really great. So for all my local friends, take a look around and find those rainbows, find that little bit of hope wherever you can. Hopefully we get to actually see each other again really soon. I miss everybody and can't wait to see you all at the library once we can open up again. As of right now, we've still got we'll do 2 more weeks of virtual book club, and which will probably be just about enough time to finish this book up. So I'm going to say goodbye and have a great weekend. Bye guys, see you soon.